Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. As always, there's a lot to talk about. Oh, I also saw, just a little side note, I saw people discussing this. You can see like a little white line inside here. It's because when I travel, I have to take the microphone with me, and when I if it pushes forward, it's basically like grinding against the inside. So yeah, it's not dirt, it's just like rub off. Anyway, over the course of the last couple of months, I'm sure you've noticed a trend. The trend has been, where's Bitcoin going? Where price is going? We are not that far at, you must feel it in the air. I cannot be the only one who is feeling this energy. I read an article and it was like, it's kind of palpable. Like you can feel the amount of interest that's back in the market. We haven't even gotten to the halving. The halving inches closer and closer every single day. And the expectations have begun to rise even further. If you've seen one of my most recent videos, I was discussing the price prospects of Ethereum and where people believe Ethereum is going literally just in March. The expectation is that the camera does that weird thing. The expectation is that at some point, as we get closer to the halving, it's typically 4 to 5 weeks away from the halving. There's something that kind of takes over everyone's imagination. Everyone begins to panic and they begin to realize for some reason that now is the time to buy as opposed to the last year, because the amount of Bitcoin that are going to be created by the network is going to get cut in half. Therefore, the halving. We are at a very interesting point in cryptocurrency's present, future, time, history. History is the word. Simply because we have never been at a point where Bitcoin isn't speculative anymore. It's not just us, me and you, buying crypto, getting into the market and seeing where all of this can go. We're now having news that there are just 2 companies who in 4 weeks accumulated over 200,000 Bitcoin. That's a little insane. So this leads us to the idea that the increased amount of momentum that we're seeing, the amount of hoarding that we've also seen already within the Bitcoin market and have seen over the last couple of years. If you missed all of those videos where I was going over these specific numbers, we know that there are a large amount of whale wallets and or just rich people in general who are sometimes buying around 150 Bitcoin daily. Not every other daily, like literally back to back to back. And they've been doing this for like a couple of months now. We see a lot of wallets out there who have accumulated large amounts of Bitcoin and have been doing so over the course of the last couple of years. And it seems as if they show no signs of stopping. Couple that with all the other companies and institutions we've been talking about. Therefore, the supply crunch is real and is probably going to affect the market in ways that we can't begin to predict. And this is why we're getting all these crazy price predictions about Bitcoin, because we've never been in a situation where like the hoarding is like so apparent. Like we can like guesstimate and be like, well, that address might be doing that in this one, but now we know specifically like Fidelity, MicroStrategy, and BlackRock alone are like gathering all the Bitcoin that there is on the actual planet. Moving on to the actual topic at hand. There are a lot of companies who always have different charts and different ways that they try to express where they believe prices are going to go. We normally do not see a previous all-time high for Bitcoin until around 5-6 months after the halving has happened. There's always this like anticipation of, we get to the halving, prices tend to go sideways. It's happened. It goes into the news. Everyone's like, yay. And then for some reason, the year after, we propel in price and then continue going higher. That would be the 2016, 2017, what have you, so on and so forth. The issue is that now is that we are not far already from the previous all-time high before the halving has even happened. And this is once again unprecedented. This is why we're getting by the end of the year, as opposed to being like, yeah, by the end of the year, Bitcoin's going to be at $64,000 in December. we're now talking about a $100,000 to a $120,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. If this happens, I'm telling you, a lot of you are going to be extremely happy. Even with the altcoins that you're holding, it's going to be a very good Christmas. A company by the name of Matrixport. It's not Matrix Report, as I've said before. It is Matrix and then Port. They've published their new analysis in a report where they talk about where they think Bitcoin is going to go just in March alone. March being significant because it's 1 month before April. Boom, boom. No, it's significant simply because April is when the halving actually happens. So therefore, that matches the 4 week to 5 weeks away from the halving prediction. They think that just based off of the news that we have right now, this isn't anything else that we might have or that might actually be going on. That is to say, just based off of the news from the ETFs, the accumulation, and the current network activity that we're seeing, they're expecting in March for Bitcoin to go up to $63,000 per coin. The significance is that it's only a couple thousand away from the previous all-time high. And this is what we've been told before. The more sensible price prediction that we've gotten for April has been around $75,000, just a smidge above the previous all-time high. The crazier ones have been over $100,000 per Bitcoin by the time we get to the actual halving. I won't lie to you. I think they're both possible. I think they're both completely in the realm of possibility. Of course, 100,000 is literally more of a stretch, but the way that things have been going, and I'm so glad that people are beginning to pay attention. I know I've said it in a couple of videos where I'm like, I wish more people were paying attention. I know that people watching are paying attention, but you understand, I wish the masses really gave way to the idea that these companies are accumulating so much. There must be something more to it. There must be money to be made if they were accumulating so much before we get to the halving. And this is before, once again, we've gotten to the 2028 or 2032 halving where we're expecting to have $1 million Bitcoin. So it's nice to see that people who are actually in the market and have been in the market for a while are once again taking notice, starting to accumulate and being like, hey, there must be something here. BlackRock is accumulating all of this Bitcoin. Their number one thing that they cite is the actual inflows to the ETFs. There's more and more every single day. I'm going to start looking for more numbers. The most recent stuff that we had was that BlackRock and Fidelity alone had over 200,000 Bitcoin. I think the number was 216,000 or something like that. But since then, the daily news of the amount of inflows into these ETFs is 300 million, 480 million, on a daily basis. So they continue to rise more and more. But for some reason, people aren't acting like they're paying attention to it. It says another critical factor is the upcoming Bitcoin halving. Also, of course, probably the largest elephant in the room when it comes to everything that everyone's actually talking about. We are gearing up for something major. I appreciate all of the support on the channel and everyone who's actually been paying attention. I remember when Bitcoin was around $20,000, like a couple of months ago when I remember it dropped dramatically. And I was like, it's really undervalued. No one's paying attention. We had conversations before about the amount of money just flowing through the Bitcoin network. There's been a whole bunch of banks and institutions in countries recently who've tried to, it's not even throwing dirt. I'm not sure what they think that they're doing. It's kind of like a, I am rubber, you are glue. It's like, you know what I mean? It sticks to you, kind of thing. This is what they've been saying against Bitcoin. And it's like, oh, okay, sure. You keep doing you. It's abundantly apparent that this network has a tremendous amount of value. It's a way to send money around the world that other governments hadn't figured out or would never actually have put together themselves, that one person and or a group of people threw together. And now 8 billion people, think about that. Everyone on the planet is not restricted from using this network. They can use it at any time. There's trillions of dollars always flowing through already. It's estimated around 50 to 100 million people who are actually using in the Bitcoin network, and they're still transacting trillions of dollars. Imagine when we onboard the first billion people who are using Bitcoin. It has a tremendous amount of value. So for government leaders and other places to be like Bitcoin has no value, I'm trying to choose my words nicely, but I'm sure you can use your imagination to see what I'm thinking. yeah, let's see what ends up happening in March. A lot of people are very excited because if we end up going past 60,000, it's all but a given that we are going to hit the previous all-time high by the time we actually get to the halving. And then the fireworks start. And then we're going to start having all the predictions about a 100 to 125 Bitcoin by the time we get to like July, which is also a very common one now for some reason. I don't know if you've been seeing those. A lot of people are talking about by the time we get to July, August, we should be well over 100 to 120K. And it's like, oh boy, let the good times roll. Yeah, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.